Today I want to make a nice sauce to go with some steak. The sauce is a Chateaubriand sauce. I have all the ingredients here, and obviously going to use some of our beautiful stock to make this sauce. 3 shallots, 1 chestnut mushroom, we've got some sprig of thyme with a bay leaf, 30 grams of unsalted butter, 500 ml of pure beef stock. We've got some maitre d' unsalted butter there. I will run through those ingredients with you in a minute. 140 gram piece of beautiful West Country fillet steak. We've got some 20 grams of tarragon and 100 ml here of some nice dry white wine. So to make this butter, I've taken about 120 grams of unsalted butter, a little squeeze of lemon juice into the softened butter, a pinch of smoked paprika and some chopped parsley, and I've just wrapped it up in cling film to make this little sausage shape, and I've just taken it out of the freezer now so I can cut a nice little piece just to finish my sauce off. This will keep it happily for a good 2 to 3 months. So when I've made this sauce, I'm going to serve my fillet steak as well onto a plate, cook it sort of medium rare. Going to wilt some spinach and make a nice celeriac puree to run with the sauce as well. So the first job was to get my 500 ml of pure beef stock just into a pan, dissolved, and I've just started to warm that up ready for the base of the sauce. In this pan here now I'm going to put my unsalted butter. Okay, so I've put my unsalted butter in the pan, just number sort of 7 heat wise. You can see the butter is now melted and just starting to foam, and into this I'm going to put my shallots, and I want to get this time a little bit of colour on those shallots. So no salt into the pan, and let's just get them going. So by not adding salt this time, we're going to generate a nice little bit of caramelization on these shallots as that butter gets going. So just keep an eye on it. It will take probably a good 5 to 10 minutes to develop that color. You know, a light caramel color, not too dark. So the shallots now, you can hear them crackling. To help now with the flavor, in with the mushrooms. Bay leaf going in, just going to rip the bay leaf to throw that in, and a nice sprig of thyme to go in as well, and get all of those flavors cooking in the pan. A couple of minutes, let's just keep developing that color. So you can see now in the base of the pan, look, nice little bit of color, not only on the shallots but developing on the mushrooms as well. The base of the pan there. Another minute, just keep that cooking going, really trying to get that nice caramelized edge. So this has now been cooking for, you know, a good 5 to 7 minutes, and look, beautiful color there. Now we're going to add into this 100 ml of dry white wine. Use that to deglaze the pan a little bit. Look, already that base color for your sauce. Now we're going to reduce the white wine down to a nice sticky glaze. This has been cooking now for a good 3 to 4 minutes. You can see how much the wine has reduced in the bottom of the pan. We're now at the stage to add the stock in and reduce the stock down to about 200 ml. So you've got to take almost 2/3 of that stock away. So in goes the stock. And just let that reduce down. Let it talk to itself in the pan. Just keep an eye on it. I'm on a nice high heat. I'm going to take it down to about just number 8 and just let that simmer away. So now you can see how much the sauce has reduced by. I've probably got about just over 200 ml left here in the pan. What I want to do now is just pass that through a sieve. We'll take it down in a clean pan a little bit further, and then we'll just finish it and serve. So the sauce now, just make sure we get all of that sauce out. So look, just using your spoon carefully, just work those ingredients backwards and forwards. Give yourself a nice little base. You know, gentle squeeze, don't push too hard. You don't want to create a mushroom puree going through your sieve. But you want to maximize that flavor. This is just pure, natural. There are no additives in this. It's certainly gluten-free as well. And you will get a stunning sauce to go with a beautiful piece of meat that will actually complement the meat and not destroy it. So if we have a little look now, it's just getting to the stage where it's just starting to coat the back of the spoon. Let's just take that back onto the heat and reduce it down a little further. It's just to finish the sauce with the maitre d' butter. So let's get 4 pieces in to start with, you know, from a cylinder. And I'm just going to shake, or what we call in the trade, to monter au beurre, to mount that sauce with that beautiful butter flavour. Give it a nice shine. The parsley is going to come out, that little bit of paprika is going to come out in it as well. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. And just as I serve it, I'm going to add my chopped tarragon. 2 more pieces of butter have just gone in, and that for me is plenty. Don't, whatever you do, boil it. Just keep it on a gentle heat now. Ready for the tarragon and the seasoning. A little bit of salt going in. A little bit of pepper. Now the butter, a little bit of seasoning's gone in. A little bit of salt, obviously salt and pepper. Wow. So the sauce now is off the heat. I'm going to take my finely chopped tarragon. Stir that in. Let's have another little dibble of that. Get a nice little tarragon-y base in there. So let's plate the dish up. So to take the steak now, what I'm going to do is just take that steak and I've got the fillet steak, lay that on the plate like so. Let's take my sauce, a little drizzle of that sauce around like that. And that for me is our beautiful West Country fillet steak, little celeriac puree with our beautiful Chateaubriand sauce. So to go with the steak, I'm going to do a little celeriac puree. I've peeled my celeriac, I've diced it into quite small dice, and I've just added a bit of full fat milk. I'm going to let that gently simmer now until that celeriac is tender, and then I'll show you how I make it into a puree. So my celeriac's cooked, and I've just drained the milk into a jug because I need to use that for the blending process. Got my jug blender, and I'm going to put my celeriac in. What I want to do now is just add enough milk to get the celeriac to blend. I'm not creating a soup, I want a nice tight puree. So let's just take about 1/3 of that, and let's see where we go. So it's not quite blending enough yet, so just going to add maybe another couple more tablespoons of the milk. Put the lid on. Just again, a little bit more. All I'm doing, small increments, just to get this puree to blend. So if you look at that consistency, it actually holds its shape when I move my paddle through it. So give it a little mix up now. Obviously switched off at the wall, and then once you've done that, we can put the lid back on and give it another blend and get it really smooth. I'm going to season the celeriac now with a nice little bit of ground down Cornish sea salt. I'd like to use white pepper. I don't have any here at the moment. There's just a little bit of cracked black pepper in there, just to bring it all together and season it up, ready for plating. So I'm going to cook the fillet steak. I've got a pan on here and I can feel the heat off the top of the pan. I've just lightly oiled the fillet steak, season it beautifully on top, and the seasoned side is going to go straight into that pan. A little bit of oil over the top there. And we're going to get a good sear on the bottom and the top. Cook that in the oven probably 4 to 5 minutes and allow it to rest. So now we've got, 2 minutes. We've got a beautiful colour on that steak. Now I'm going to turn the steak over and get a nice sear on the other side. At the moment, all I've used is a little bit of salt for seasoning. I will finish it with pepper. I want to get the cooking time the same on the bottom now as I have on the top. So, a couple of minutes, you can see the sear coming up, and then we're going to baste it with some butter, a little bit of thyme, and into a nice hot oven, 220 for about 4 to 5 minutes. I want this kind of a nice medium rare. Again, a little bit of thyme. You could put garlic in there if you wanted to. So I've added a little bit more, about another sort of 20 grams of unsalted in here. Look, just kind of got a nice nutty colour on that. Baste it over the top, like so. Just get that steak seared all the way around. Now we're ready to put that into a nice hot oven. So I'm putting it now onto a nice little tray. A little bit of that butter over the top with the thyme. So the steak has come out of the oven. It's been in the oven now probably a good 4 minutes. You can just see that nice little bit of bounce. That's now going to go onto a plate. I'll cover it with a little foil. We'll just let that rest while we finish the dish.